Hey everyone, it's Daniel
and Matthew,
and we are A to Z Thrills. What's today's video about?
Well, today's video is all about hopping in the DeLorean and going back in time. This is going to be our lists of the top 5 defunct coasters that we wish we could have ridden. Let me clarify one thing. There are a couple coasters on my list that he has ridden. And there are a couple coasters on
my list that he has ridden.
That I've ridden. So unfortunately, there's a couple of coasters that are not going to be on both lists, even though they're amazing coasters. Now, let me also just put it like this. We don't necessarily know if we would have liked these coasters or not.
Yeah.
This just is what we wish we could have ridden.
Yes.
Now, it's not going to be in any particular order. This is just the 5 coasters he wishes he could ride and the 5 wishes.
How about you go ahead and start for us?
Well, I've heard bad things about this coaster. I've heard bad things about this company, but it's so unique and so different. And I've seen POVs of it. And yes, you can still technically ride it in Japan. The first defunct coaster is Ultra Twister.
The TOGO.
The TOGO,
oh,
yes.
Goodness.
Look at this thing. I mean, it's absolutely bonkers insane. And I love inversions, and you get inversions with this one. Now it's not very tall. It's not very fast. It's just so unique and so different.
Oh, definitely.
I just wish I could have ridden it.
Yes.
So that's the first one. Is that one on your list?
No, actually.
No. Okay.
The one that's on my list that I'm gonna start with is actually one that you have already ridden.
I have ridden this. Okay.
For those of y'all who know, we go to Universal a lot.
Oh, I think I know what this is.
There was a set of coasters there that unfortunately was removed to make way for Hagrid's Magical Creatures motorbike, blah, 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 blah. For me, that is Dueling Dragons.
AKA Dragon Challenge.
Oh, yes. I never was able to go down to Universal until, of course, I met him, AKA 3 years ago now? Almost 3 years ago? So, wow. Unfortunately, by that time, they had already taken out Dueling Dragons, so I would never be able to fully experience the Dragon Challenge as well. But from the POVs, it just looks so beautiful. I remember doing a coaster project in my high school days about this very coaster because I was so looking forward to actually riding it one day.
I will tell you from previous ride experience, it is probably my number 2 or number 3 being an invert of all time. So I very much do miss this coaster. Now let me just say, I love Hagrid's Magical Creature Motorbike Adventure TM. But, I mean, would I give Hagrid back to get Dueling Dragons back? No.
I would.
Well, of course you would. But I mean, Hagrid's is the best family coaster on the planet.
Touche.
And, I mean, Dragon Challenge / Dueling Dragons never really had a very long line.
Touche.
So,
and
you know, that is an absolute killer when it comes to theme parks.
And at least they're doing an homage to those coasters by, of course, Starfall Racers. The way they interact with each other kind of reminisces.
Or as the Universal employees right now would say, what roller coaster?
It doesn't exist yet because they haven't announced it, but yeah, we all know it's there because it's being built. Well, it has been built. But it interacts.
The worst kept secret in the world.
So bad. But yeah, as in it pays homage to Dueling Dragons, and I cannot wait to get on that. So maybe I can reminisce and maybe one day watch POV and be like, yes, I can finally ride this coaster.
Yeah.
What's your next defunct coaster?
This one is going to be another one that is one that one of us has ridden, one of us has not ridden. This time, he's the one who wrote it, not me. Daniel, of course, was born and raised in North Carolina.
Yep.
So he went to Carowinds quite a bit. Yep. And there was a racing coaster that was taken out.
All for a water park expansion.
And that is Thunder Road. Okay. I've ridden a lot of racing coasters, and I'm sure that this was probably not one of the best coasters on the planet, but it means a lot to him, and he means a lot to me. So, for nostalgic purposes, it had to make the list.
The thing that always bothered me and bothered a lot of coaster enthusiasts as well is that Thunder Road had a kind of like a rebuilding phase. They were going through fixing up the track. They spent over $3 million fixing it up for it to run glossy smooth again, only for 2 years later to say, you know what, let's cut it. I'm like, because it was the first like big kid ride I ever rode. One without inversion, my first wooden coaster I ever rode, because I rode it with my parents, and seeing it's just like it hurt me emotionally, because I'm just like, that has significance to me.
And I can piggyback off of that too, because my first ever wooden roller coaster, in fact my first ever roller coaster period, was in 1990, and that was Georgia Cyclone at Six Flags Over Georgia, which of course is another defunct roller coaster, because it is now the RMC conversion Twisted Cyclone.
But at least yours is still like here in essence.
Yeah,
spirit,
it is.
But then the road just said, peace. But now I get to go to a wooden coaster that I wish I could have rode all the way up at Kings Island. And as one of the ride operators used to say that I love so much, he's big, he's bad, he used to be a dad. Whoops, that's sad. It's time to ride the beast. But I'm not talking about the beast. I'm talking about Son of Beast.
Oh God.
Now this coaster, when it came out, it was everywhere. I mean, kids were talking about it at my school. I begged my parents to go up there and let's ride it. And after all the incidents that happened, they said, heck no.
Well, to be fair, they got rid of the best part of it, the loop.
Touché.
And no, I had never got to ride Son of Beast either, but no, that did not make my list.
For me, it's just, that's such an iconic ride that a lot of coaster enthusiasts, whenever a defunct coaster happens, it's just like, I have that credit and I can cherish it. And that was one of them that I really wanted, but sadly could never get there in time. Knowing what happened and everything, I think my lucky stars that, I never got to experience it when it had those problems. But
yeah,
let's move on to the next.
Now, going forward, I have to say, looking at these lists, they're identical.
Oh.
All three of these remaining coasters on each of our lists are the same. So that just goes to show that we're soulmates and we belong together. So
that is true.
Let's just go one at a time.
So this one was at King's Dominion.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it had its problems. It suffered from a thing called intaminitis sometimes. We're talking about the one, the only...
Volcano the Blast Coaster.
Yes.
Oh, Lord. I've seen so many POVs of this, and I'm just
Same.
like, oh my gosh, that looks like so much fun. Shooting out of a volcano? What ride in the world ever does that?
It was so cool to see.
Mm-hmm.
Like, again, I never got to ride it, but I did, drive past it a few times. I never got to actually see inside the park, but I wish I could have ridden this back in my younger days, because I knew it could have fit back in my younger days. But it's just, that is a one-of-a-kind experience that you can never have again, because it launches you out of a freaking volcano. So I'm hoping the rumored wing coaster for King's Dominion can pay homage to Volcano by blasting you out of something, because I think it's going to be a launch coaster. Go watch our friend Theme Park Predictions video all about that, because he can go more in detail. Link in the description down below. We go from Volcano to another one. In the same state. We go to Busch Gardens, Williamsburg for Big Bad.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Yes, this is another aero suspended coaster, but it was touted by so many as the very best, the best drop,
definitely.
The best scenery, the best everything. Now, I will say, I do love its replacement for Bolton. He doesn't. No, you don't. Admit it, you don't like it. You don't like it.
It was shaky.
He don't like it.
I don't like dark rides.
He don't like dark rides.
Anyway.
Big
Big Bad Wolf, it's so iconic. Whenever you hear it, like every roller coaster enthusiast out there knows what Big Bad Wolf is, and wishes that it still was here.
Well, rumor has it that Busch Gardens Williamsburg is working on something.
But that's on the Draken Firefly land.
But hopefully, maybe one day in the not too distant future, maybe there'll be some kind of homage.
Oh yeah.
At Williamsburg. They're not going to take Verbolten away.
No. Okay.
You can get rid of that pipe dream right now.
On to this coaster.
Now, okay.
We wish we could have rode it.
But we are going to get to ride the new version of it
Ooh.
later this year. It is not the same as what it originally was.
I mean, even if it was, it's still a new credit for us, because we never got to ride the original, which is
Top Thrill Dragster. And it's still in the top 15, top 20 of a
yeah.
lot of enthusiasts.
Like they're just like, oh, I know it's Defunct, but it's still this one.
It's still this high on my list. You know, when it's that high on someone's list, it's going to take a lot to knock something down.
Oh,
I mean,
touche.
of course, the older you get, the hazier your memories get. So, of course, you know, it's naturally going to drop. It's not going to go up.
I'm getting old.
Top Thrill 2, I think, is a great replacement or reimagining of it, and I cannot wait to get on there.
But you know what? That's what this list is all about, and that's why we had our magic little DeLorean to take a little trip back to the past.
But now it's time to get back to the future, or the present, as some would say. And it's time to leave you with this. If you liked it, leave a like. It does help out the channel. It shows that you want to see more of this stuff. And while you're down there, go ahead and comment a Defunct coaster that you wish that you could have rode.
Always remember this. The future is what you make of it. So make it a good one and be good people. I'm Matthew.
And I'm Daniel.
And we are A to Z Thrills. And as always,
Stay
with us. Keep calm and coaster on.
Bye,
Bye guys.